It's the story of the airline industry and flying, told by what's not flying. Planes parked around the world, grounded as coronavirus takes hold. Some airlines shutting down for now. One estimate from a trade association says half the world's airlines could collapse or merge.
I can assure you we're losing money on every single flight, and big money. So that can't be sustained indefinitely.
In the U.S., planes were running more than 80% full. Now they are flying more than 80% empty, usually worse. These members of Congress going back to Washington with lots of room. But the airlines keep flying because
the federal government has mandated our work as essential. It's a money-losing proposition on the commercial side. But the higher calling is the service that we're providing.
Still, are there too many flights?
We're not taking steps to really pull down any extraneous travel that's going on. So we should only be doing essential travel at this time and not be exposing people needlessly through air travel.
U.S. airlines want to keep a schedule to move cargo, and because some still have to fly. They're also in line to receive $50 billion in government aid. A big chunk of that money is keeping airline workers paid, even as bookings dive and people stop flying.
That's the IV that we needed to not just survive, but maintain our status with some strength.
In the past, one of the first things airlines do to manage their expenses is they just do massive layoffs. This is an attempt to help airlines reduce the number of people who have to be laid off and thus reduce the number of people who potentially go on to unemployment.
For the pilots, the flight attendants, a jolt, as fortunes fall in an industry where times were good, with sprawling networks and record profits.
It was the best of times, and then overnight it became the worst of times.
Now, the most expensive planes in the big airlines' fleets parked. Wide-body jets, no longer needed with just about every international flight scrubbed. It's a hibernation no one wanted, but came on fast.
This is shocking. It has overtaken all of us.
Empty planes mean empty airports, a trickle-down of bad news and lost revenue for the 10 million people whose jobs touch aviation in the U.S., from in-flight catering to airplane washing to airport driving. Just look at the drop in passengers screened at U.S. airports by TSA from a year ago to now, down 94%. For pilots and flight attendants, all those parked planes mean fewer flights, so less pay.
Depending on what you normally fly, it can be anywhere from 20-25% difference in the amount of income, just due to the decrease in flying. So that's everybody, just having to naturally do their part.
Airlines are hoarding cash, watching every expense, but they don't want to cut too much because that makes restarting operations all the more difficult. Ground too many pilots and they could lose currency to fly.
If you were to do the darkest of things, and that is furloughing pilots, it's furlough from the bottom, which triggers hundreds of millions of dollars of training in many months so that the airline can continue to operate.
For those working cabins, there's something else.
There's a flight attendant's picture behind me. His name is Paul Frischkorn, who's the first flight attendant to die to the coronavirus. And there's going to be a lot more people hurting. And so we're just trying to stabilize as much as possible.
For now, the airline industry is in a lineup and wait, waiting for coronavirus to run its course, waiting to see when people will fly again. That federal infusion of $50 billion buys them time until September. And if things don't get better,
I don't think we'll see any of the big four go out of business. The big four are American, Delta, Southwest, and United. But it's unclear whether other airlines will have the financial strength to continue in the U.S.
For passengers, there will be changes, likely fewer flights to fewer cities. Some of those grounded planes won't be coming back. But those fees for bags and seats sticking around, and maybe some good news for flyers looking for bargains.
And when we come out of this, I'm expecting an extremely intense dogfight between airlines for customers and cash.
We're not only concerned with the survival of our airline industry, but we're concerned with what condition will be when we get through this. And we will get through this.
Airlines and its employees looking for a lift, but only finding uncertainty stretching as far as their parked planes.